Make sure your phone is
Oh no, I already did that already. I forget sometimes when we go live.
So we'll probably just go right into it.
Yeah.
Can you see me? Because I don't see me. We are live.
Okay.
So we're just going to give it like a minute because we are late. Sorry, guys, we are starting off late today. But thank you for tuning in to Uncommon Women. Just give it another moment or so. Jenni, you got to work tomorrow?
Yes, I do, but I have off Tuesday.
You normally have off every Tuesday?
Every other Tuesday. It's every other Tuesday, every other Friday, and every other weekend.
Oh, okay.
So this is my weekend off. So when I have my Tuesday off, I have the weekend off. So when I work the Friday, I work that weekend. So.
Gotcha. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started because we are like really late today, which is better late than never, right?
Yep.
So thank you for tuning in to Uncommon Women. I'm Chaniera.
And I'm Jenni.
And typically, well, today we're actually going to have a guest speaker, Ashlyn Renee, but she did have a slight emergency that occurred today. So keep her in your prayers. She's an amazing speaker in regards to self-love. So today we're just going to give a little tips in regards to self-love and your reflection and things in regards to how to help you grow into loving yourself. Before we go on today's topic, I just wanted to let everyone know who we are and what we're about. So Uncommon Women, we are a platform to uplift and edify women. We focus on two things. We give people a platform to come on and speak on their trials and tribulations in regards to what they went through in life and where they're at now in life. And then we also give businesses a platform to come on and share their business and educate us in regards to specific topics. So today we're actually just going to be focusing on your reflection in regards to self-love. What we want to start with before we go into the details is just letting everyone know the difference in regards to self-love, not just being about feelings, you know. It's actually taking time out for yourself. It's about yourself growing from your actions that support your physical, psychological, and spiritual growth. Self-love allows you to accept your weaknesses along with your strength and comparison to yourself, so that you can actually strive into your personal meaning and your fulfillment of who you actually are. So a lot of us, I know I do it as well. We typically show kindness and love and compassion towards others, but you know, when we get home and when we're alone and by ourselves, we don't know how to talk to ourselves or actually love who we are. Sometimes being alone, you don't know how to cope with you know, just being you. So what we're going to focus on today is just giving some tools in regards to how to love you. The first thing that you actually need to do is you need to sway away from perfection. You know, a lot of us, we have self-criticism in regards to our inner voice that tells us, oh, you did this wrong, or you need to fix this. And it can play back over and over again like a broken record. But you have to try to set yourself aside from that. You got to try to set yourself aside from the negative thoughts, because it can drain you. You know, it can drain you mentally, and it can lead to serious stressful events in your life, as well as different outcomes that may lead to depression. And you don't want to know that. You don't want to go that far. You got to be able to acknowledge that you're not going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to acknowledge that you're not perfect. Stop beating yourself up when you feel as though you made a mistake. Um, Everything is not going to be perfect. And when you come to the realization that you're not going to be perfect, things will start moving smoothly in your life. You know, things will start to flow the way that you need it to flow. And you'll be able to prosper into the person that you're called to be.
I think loving yourself is a vital and essential for you in order to grow as a person, and to change habits, to be a better person than you were yesterday. I think that is because I think that is important. Self-love is like, it's about evolving,
Right.
but it also needs to be practiced every day. Every day you need to show you that kindness, that gentleness, and yeah, we might criticize ourselves, like you said, Chaniera, but I think that that's the part where when we start criticizing ourselves, it can also come from, like you also said, from like things from our past, like wounds and trauma. And I think these are things that we have to like get to a point when we want to start and loving ourselves, we have to let that go. Now, once we start letting these things go and start realizing like, wow, I can really let these things go and start focusing on me and being able to love you, yeah, loving you is not an easy thing.
Right.
Like you said, again, we are our own worst critic. And that is the hardest thing because one, we're human. And when we become our worst critic, we also become our worst enemy. It's not a great feeling to feel that way. So, but then again, you have to come to a place where, okay, I'm going to love me because I need to love me in order for me to become a better person, in order for me to change these habits, in order for me to change, in order for me to let go of this trauma, in order for me to let go of the hurts and the pain that I've had. And it's hard. I've learned that to love, you got to love no matter what, even if it's hard.
Right. And you got to take accountability, things that may have been traumatizing in your past or your childhood. You got to be able to move past that. You can't let that hold you back from what you want to do or make an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's walk is perfect. Nobody's life is perfect, but you got to be able to change it around, break the cycle. Don't
Mm-hmm.
let your past or your childhood dictate who you want to be, where you want to go, and what you want to change your children to be. You gotta find that inner confidence that you have inside yourself, and you gotta speak to yourself. Be optimistic with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be authentic with yourself. It's okay to listen to yourself and criticize yourself, but you got to be able to balance it. You got to be like, okay, this is what I did, but this is where I'm learning from it, and this is where I want to go from it. You can't always beat yourself up about it. I remember telling my friend, he had a rough morning, and sometimes we let something that happened one part of our day ruin our whole day. And I was trying to explain to him, like, you can't let something, we got 24 hours in the day. You can't let something that happened for 1 hour ruin your whole day. Like, you got a whole day. You can flip it around. And I think that comes with, being confident in who you are and loving yourself, knowing that everything is not going to be perfect. Things are going to happen. Stuff is going to happen, but you can't let that garnish your whole day. So we do want to talk in regards to some self-care tips as well. Jenni, you can go ahead and start off with the self-care tips.
Okay, I think spending time alone for yourself is very intentional. Do things you like riding a bike, getting your hair and nails done, pamper yourself,
Shape ups for the guys that want to get
shape ups, yeah. Go to the movies, take yourself on a date.
Right.
I do it all the time. Go shopping by yourself. You don't always have to do things with others. But see, But when it comes to self-love, this is a part where you spend time alone, because then you're constantly lonely, and so you have to keep yourself busy and doing the things that makes your needs. It's not always about a want, but a need. What do you need to do for yourself? Like, Chaniera, what do you need to do today? What do you need for yourself to like clear your mind, to also fulfill your, your spirit, like my time is being in the presence of God, that's fulfilling for me, to be in his overwhelming presence. That is my time alone. I like being by myself. When you can get to a place where you are content and you're okay to be alone in that peace, it's amazing. Because when you go into that place where you don't feel lonely, yeah, you might get lonely, but then you'll find ways to keep yourself busy. Like I find ways. I take naps because that's my favorite thing to do.
Oh, I like to take naps too.
And sometimes I come home and I live by myself, so it's peaceful, and I like my peace. Your peace is very important to yourself, because that's when you come to a place where you can start thinking and on your needs. Yeah, sometimes we want, but what are your needs? Not your needs mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Those are the 4 important things that we also need, and love in yourself, because we need to fulfill those areas and needs, because that's what makes us, in order to love ourselves, to move forward. And like Sharon never spoke, like I mentioned, and you spoke about on trauma and on wounds and hurts, that gives you time to reflect on that time alone, because where you're able to like really think and really reflect on it, you can get into that deeper place within yourself.
That's right. That's important. I think, Jenni, you made a good point about taking naps. And a lot of people think, I got to be on grind mode, I got to work. But you got to take breaks from work. Like, you do not want to burn yourself out. Yeah. Like, burning yourself out, it can happen. It definitely can happen. Me, I'm a witness to that. Working doubles 4 and 5 days a week, I passed out in the parking lot. Straight passed out in the parking lot because I was on my grind. And now, like, when I got to the point where I just needed to like reevaluate my life and take in consideration work-life balance is important. I take time for myself. I go on vacations. I enjoy time with my family. I enjoy time with my friends, because those are memories that we can't, that last a lifetime, but it's also something that you can't take back from when you're working constantly, trying to get ahead. Now, I'm not saying, getting ahead is wrong. I'm just saying making sure that you have that balance with your life, and also learning how to say no. Any additional demands that your boss may want, and that you physically can't do it, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Like, I understand this and the third, but mentally, physically, I can't. You got to learn how to say no, because you don't want to burn yourself out. Self-care is very important. Self-care is very important. And I know there's a lot of people out there as like yes people, like, oh, I know I can go to this person. They always say yes. Yep. And that drains them out too. You got to take into consideration on others' behalf in regards to your behalf when you're trying to fulfill yourself in regards to self-care. What are some other tips that we can do in regards to self-care? You said riding bikes, right? Oh, journaling. Riding bikes. Journaling, as well as, just making sure we don't have any comments. Journaling as well as phone memos. I think that's very important. Whenever you're feeling negative or anything that's bothering you, try to go back to the times that you wrote in your journal or notes that you put in your phone to bring a positive aspect of your day, something that reminds you, who you are and where you're going and not where you've been. Don't let your past define or dictate who you are, and don't let certain circumstances define and dictate who you are. So just journaling and phone memos, I think is very important. Jenny, what is something else that you wanted to point out about
Um,
self-care?
I want to finish off on what you're saying. Like even looking at yourself in the mirror, or
Yes.
looking at yourself in the mirror, even putting post-its or even post-its around the mirror. Because
Sticky
I know I
note.
do. I sometimes do that. Or
Mhm.
sometimes I just stand in front of the mirror and just I look at my flaws. Like I'll look at the marks on my face. I'll look at like, why is my eyeball like that? Or I get curious because I feel like you have to like look at yourself, look at your body. Like when you
Mhm.
learn to do that, you know, you start to think like, wow, the good Lord like creating me like this. You
Right.
know, I've had kids, so you know, I got my stretch mark on, but I'm proud of
They're
them though.
beauty marks.
Yeah,
They're beauty
exactly.
marks.
But I
Because
feel
I have
like
them too.
even I'm not stand in front of the mirror like, okay, I'm not trying to be censored, but you know, naked or just so you can look at yourself and be like, wow, this is
Raw.
me.
She means raw. Your raw
Yeah, this is
self.
who I am. Yes. And then even like with me, like throughout the day, you know, I'm on my feet all day. So I'm moving around so much. And sometimes I can be so tired. I talk to myself throughout the day. I tell myself who I am in Christ.
Right.
You know, I tell like I'm leaning on his strength and not my strength. You
Right.
know, I push myself throughout the day because I'm tired. You know, like you said, you know, you have to take time from work, but sometimes, you know, when you are at work and you're feeling tired, talk to yourself. And believe me, that will change your outlook on how you might be tired, but you're also motivated. You're also pushing yourself because you know what? I'm going to get this done. I'm going to finish my work. You know, I am who he says I am. And, you know, that's how I speak to myself. And it may not work for everyone else, but it's
Just
uh,
try it. Just try it
just
at the
try
end of the
it. Just
day.
try it. And
I,
believe me, it will work.
I think being the raw you behind closed doors, build your confidence so that when you go out, you ain't gotta compare yourself to anybody
Yep.
else, you know.
Mhm.
I love makeup, so I'm not going to talk about anyone who wear makeup. But if you can, you
Mhm.
know, when you're cleaning off your face for the women that wear makeup every day, look at your face, look at yourself in the mirror,
Mhm.
and speak life into yourself. You got freckles, be like, I love my beauty freckles that is on my face. I love these pimples that God gave me. I got a pimple right now. Y'all probably can't see it. It's driving me crazy. But I love everything about me. I don't need makeup every day. You know why? Because I love my inner self. And that's how you got to be. You got to be able to look yourself in the mirror and be thankful for who God has created you to be, because there can never be no one else like you. You
No.
are not going to be someone else. You got to be able to love who you are and be able to walk the path that God's given you and be okay with it. Your walk is not going to be like somebody else's. And that's very important in regards to learning how to love yourself and taking the necessary steps in regards to self-care. Self-care is very important. It's very important. And what else did I want to bring up? Oh, mental stability is very important in regards to staying with self-care, and that goes a long way with the company that you keep around you. You
Yep.
know,
That
you
it sure
gotta
does.
try to keep some positive friends around. You don't want to be around people that's always negative. You know, surround yourself with people who wants to see the best in you. Surround yourself with people that's going to uplift you, motivate you, push you to be the better you. Because what happens is when you surround yourself around negativity and people that's also gossiping and ain't doing nothing with their life, what do you think is going to happen with yourself? You're going to be staggered. You're not going to move. You're not going to prosper. And if you want more out of life, you got to start surrounding yourself with people that's going to push you so that you can achieve the best for your life, break generational curses, and be the best in who you want to be. I think that's very important because I see um, sometimes we don't become mindful of who we are and
Mhm.
where we want to be, and we don't take accountability that the people that we keep around us can stop us from where the potential us is supposed to
Yep.
come out.
Yep.
So I think, you know, just be mindful of who you're keeping around you. And it's okay to find new friends. You know, they always be like, no new friends, but nah, I love new friends. If they gonna give me the wisdom and the knowledge I need to move that next step, I'm all about new friends. I'm all about networking. I'm all about meeting new people, because there's different seasons and there's different aspects in your life where you have to meet new people to flourish and prosper in life. And they may give you some tools that you don't know. They may give you some tools that the people that you already have in your life is not equipped to the things that you need to move further in your life. So I think positive friends are very important.
They are. I think because once you have those positive friends, I think your whole perspective, like mentally and spiritually, changes. Your surroundings, your lifestyle, how you think, and how you not how you think and how you see things. You get a whole different
things, right?
Yeah, you get a whole different perspective. You're coming out of you end up, coming out of your comfort zone. Once you come out of your comfort zone and you start doing things, you may feel a little uncomfortable at first, but then you're like, wow, this is the type of crowd that I need to be with.
Right.
Because, you see yourself going to different types of levels. Honestly, when you start hanging out with certain people, you see yourself going into different types of levels. Yeah. So, and because they're pushing you, they want what's best for you. But then you also got to pick those people that are gonna be with you through your struggle and to your accomplishments. That's the type of people you also need with you. And not only that, you have to protect yourself in a way, and setting those boundaries and also those limits, and allowing to have the right people come into your life. Because with those right people coming into your life, I like like-minded people. I like meeting people that I'm just like, ooh, I want to be over there. I want to be in that crowd. I don't want to be in this crowd that's stuck and stagnant and still doing the same thing over and over and doing, and it's a repeating cycle, like you said, Chaniera. I don't want to be there. I want to be over there, because the good Lord says when you walk with the wise, you become wise. So then when you become wise, you start making wiser decisions. You start making like I said, things start to change. Surroundings, people, you start to change. You start, your character changes, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way your goals, the way your passion and your dreams, all that changes. Things that you thought that when you were in this stagnant little place there, you thought, oh, I can't have those dreams. Then when you go into this other group, ooh, I have big dreams. Oh, I have the potential. Oh, I see different perspective. Oh, I love me. And that's where you start to put that focus on yourself, because you have these right people in your path.
Yeah, and I think when you start revolving with your life and you start getting to know the inner self and who you're really called to be, your expectations change too. You really turn into an adult, and you start to, let's go back into boundaries, what Jenni was talking about. You start to set boundaries for yourself that's going to prosper. So, with your friends and family, you got to set those limits. You got to say no to certain activities or interactions if you are trying to develop something inside before you can go outside. So you have to set those boundaries. Trips, if you know darn well that you ain't got no money to be going on trips, and your bill is due this weekend, or your rent or mortgage or whatever the case may be, and you want to go out because your friends want to go out this week, no, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Set boundaries, because what's going to happen is, if you're always saying yes, or you're always on the go, and you're not being mindful of the things that you have to take care of home within your circle, you're going to stress yourself out. You're going to stress yourself out, and you're going to be trying to figure out how you're going to do this, that, and the third. And temporary happiness of that moment will put you in a longer detour in regards to the responsibilities that you had prior to making those type of arrangements. So I think in setting boundaries is very important, and also being mindful of other people's boundaries. Be respectful and ask questions with your friends. If everybody's, in adult life or people going in school, there's days where you don't speak to your friends every day. So like if you call your friend up and you want to rant or you want to vent, be mindful and be respectful and see if they have the time to listen. If they have the time to listen, and don't get discouraged if they don't have that time. Like you never know what they're going through, and you calling and like, oh my God, girl, oh my God, yo, bro, like you won't believe what happened. Like, be respectful. Ask the question first. Do you have the energy or time to listen to me to vent? Be respectful to your friends, because sometimes you may call them up or you may text them and you just start diarrhea at the mouth, and it's like, whoa, like they was not mentally prepared to listen and give you advice that you need or just be there for you. That doesn't mean that they're not your friend. You can't take it that way. You can't get so offensive. You just got to be mindful of everybody as a whole, not just on yourself.
And I can agree, and I definitely can agree with that, because respect comes a long way,
right?
For yourself and for others, because you got to be kind to yourself. You got to respect yourself the same way you want to be treated. They want to be treated that way too, so I can't just be barging in like, hey, can you listen to me now? It doesn't go that way. But like, hey, be kind, be gentle. Obviously your friend loves you. If that's the type of friend, like that you have, where, okay, they're understanding. So at least take out time, let them take that time out. But like, listen, sis, listen, sis, you want to talk to me? Make a timeout, plan a date, or don't just, everybody has lives, so just be mindful of that, because when you have a great friendship with someone, friendships like that, sometimes they don't always come. So, and that makes, like, those are the right, like I said earlier, those are the right people, and the right people will come into your life. And like you said earlier, Chaniera, not everyone stays, so be mindful of the friends that you do have, especially the good ones.
Yeah, and setting boundaries with them, I think that's very important. Some other things that we can do in regards to self-care. Oh, I got one. Self-love, affirmations. We talk about things that you can do in the mirror. But you can do it throughout the day. It doesn't have to just be your reflection looking inside the mirror. Talk to yourself. I talk to myself all the time. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Yep. Talk to yourself and speak life into yourself, just to give some fruit pointers in regards to affirmations. You can talk to yourself like, I'm a good person. I'm a great person. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of love and respect. I accept my love for myself. I accept my flaws. I am created the way God wanted to create me. Yep. So I mean, there's a couple of things that you can do. I am Black and I am beautiful. I am intelligent. Like, there's so many affirmations that you can say about your life, about yourself, that you can do daily to be able to bring your full potential in who you are as a person. Why do I talk with my hands? Sorry, guys. But yeah, do you have any affirmations?
I have another one. Celebrate your wins, big or small. Celebrate your accomplishments, even if it's just okay, you didn't fold the laundry yesterday, but you did it today.
But you got the laundry done.
Okay, that too. But I've learned that details are important. The small details are important. Even if it's just making a phone call for something, I'm going to speak on credit, even though we've already talked to that on our topic. Let's say, well, I want to pay this small debt. You want to pay that small debt. After that, celebrate. Sit at home. Call your friends and be like, guess what? I paid this debt off. My credit score went up. And I love that. That's definitely a small accomplishment when you work on your credit. And even if it's something little, just running a mile, that is an accomplishment. Like you said earlier, like the lady that she got her GED. I'm still working on mine. That's going to be a big accomplishment for me.
Oh yes, I didn't talk about it on the live, but
yeah.
So what happened is, you know, your walk is not going to be the same as anybody else's
exactly.
walk. You got to be able to be okay with that, comfortable in your own skin. You know, I think society makes everything to the point where you have to have, you know, a degree at a certain age. You got to be married at a certain age. You got to have children at a certain age. But no, it don't work like that. Everybody moves in different paths in life. And there's some things that I can do to get me 3 steps forward, but may push me 10 steps back. So you got to be able to know that your walk and your path is not going to be the same as anybody else's. And you got to be comfortable with that. So I was telling Jenni how this lady, you know, not to talk about her past or whatever, she's had a troubled life, but she was 45 and her goal was to get her GED. And she got her GED. And to me, that's an accomplishment. That's her accomplishment. I don't care which age you is. That is a great accomplishment because she had a goal, she stuck to it, and she was able to finish it. And you cannot criticize somebody that does something further down their life, you know, than what you've done. You know, you can't be looking down on somebody because she's 45 and she got her so what? She got her GED. That's her goal. That's her success story. You know, so everybody's success story is not going to be the same. You got to be able to set a goal to live your life happy and not to live anyone else but your life happy and with a purpose. You definitely have a reflection and live your life with a purpose. You know, be your own best friend. Be your own best friend. You know, go best friend. I'm my best friend. You know, I know that was a little cheesy, but you got to be your own best friend because what happens when you live with a purpose and meaning, you start to make decisions that support your intentions, you know, intentions in your life. And when you make those requirements for your life and the actions to support your intentions, it brings more accomplishments in your life and you'll be able to achieve more things in your life and you'll be able to be confident in who you are and you won't let negativity get the best of you. So I think it's very important for you to be your best friend, be your own best friend. I think we're going to have to get that on a shirt. I am
be your own best friend. I like that. I think we should.
Yes.
and I can definitely agree. Being your own best friend, I think it's a good thing because you get to dial in, like I said earlier, and you're in inner dialogue. You can be in your own little happy place, you know, and follow, like you said also, I want to go back into your friend, you know, she followed her dreams. She followed her passion. And that is important too. And you know, want to go off to being your own best friend. I love being my own best friend. And that is vital. That is very vital. I feel like it's important. And I think, you know, everyone should be their own best friend.
Yeah, that's good. I think that you know, learning the raw you and just taking the time to see your inner self, you know, for those that have children, you definitely got to try to set time aside to have your own hobbies and to do the things that you enjoy doing. Because what I've noticed when your children go up and when they leave the nest, moms, dads, they're like, what am I going to do? You know, I ain't got my kids. What am I supposed to do? And you lose yourself. So when you have children and you're still multitasking in regards to working or going to school and being mom and being dad, take time aside to enjoy the things that you like to do, rather as listening to music, rather as drawing, rather as dancing, rather it's taking walks, rather as exercising, booty shaking, whatever you like to do on your own time. You got to take that time aside to do it so that when your children or when your friends are busy or whatever the case may be, you'll be able to bounce into your hobby and do the things that you love to do, and that you don't lose yourself. Because when you lose yourself and you get into that deep hole, it takes a lot of healing and a lot of compromising and sacrificing and just self-meditating to get yourself out of that hole. So I think that if you take baby steps in regards to doing that daily or as a normal routine, it's easier for you to bounce back to that when your children leave the nest or when your friends are busy, and just to enjoy your life, just to be you, be true to you.
I also have another one, forgiving yourself.
Ooh,
forgiving yourself is important through the process of learning to love yourself, because we're not perfect. We're going to fall short every day. And once again, and when that happens, when we fall short, we tend to criticize ourselves. So
learn to worst enemies at times. We definitely
just learn to forgive yourself in that area where, okay, I did this, I know I shouldn't have done it, but I forgive myself. Give yourself enough grace as well to be like, okay, well, I'm gonna work on not doing this again, so that you won't fall down on that area again. So you won't fall short in that area again. So it's a mistake. You made a mistake. You fall, you get back up, and you move forward.
And baby steps. Everything's not going to be microwaved. It's not going to happen overnight. Change does not happen overnight. Renewing your mind is something that you got to do consistently. You have to be consistent with yourself. If you expect someone to love you and to be consistent with you, try being consistent with yourself first.
Yes.
Try loving yourself first. Try being authentic to yourself first. You cannot expect a relationship, friendships, or family to respect you, to be loving, to be consistent with you, and you can't even be consistent with yourself. So I think it starts with being consistent with yourself and getting to know the true you, being your reflection, looking in the mirror, looking at your flaws, and being able to prosper consistently with that, because it's not going to happen overnight. I'm still growing. I'm sure Jenny Lee is still growing. I know some of our viewers are still growing, but the key point is to keep doing it, being consistent with it, renewing your mind every day. Because once the moment that you leave an open door for the enemy to come in, he is going to kill, steal, and destroy you. And I mean that wholeheartedly. He's going to kill, steal, and destroy you. And that happens when you're not consistent. When you're not consistent with yourself. When you are consistent with yourself and you know who you are and you're confident and you know who the person that you are going to be, and you're not looking at everybody else and comparing yourself with IG models and Facebook and how many likes, this, that, and the third. All that stuff is irrelevant because you're loving you. You're loving you. You're being you, So just be the raw you, be uncommon, because we are uncommon. Really be you, and don't let everything else dictate you in your life.
No, not at all. And I can agree 100% in what you were saying, Chaniera, because loving you, once you start to loving you, then you're able to love others better.
Right. That's so true. I don't have anything else. I think we did pretty good. How about you? Do you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think no, I think that's what I have. Oh, toxicity.
Oh,
toxicity.
I can bounce off of that.
Toxicity. I've learned and loving myself, and I've known you've had it, and some of our viewers, where we have our toxicity in our own traits, toxicity from family members and friends. And toxicity is something that will drain you as well. And toxicity is what you need to get rid of.
Yes, bad vibes, negative energy, it will mentally and physically drain you. And next month, we'll actually be talking on narcissistic and things, and that's going to be some good stuff. So we'll get into that. But it's very important to know your own traits in regards to why you're toxic. I think self-evaluation is very important, as well as being accountable. Be accountable for when you're wrong. You is not always wrong. I'm not right. I want my boyfriend to be like, girl, she is. He says it. I know he does. When I sit back and be like, whoa, girl, you was tripping, I'll call and be like, hey, babe, I apologize. I was so wrong. So you got to take accountability for yourself, because we all got toxic traits, but you got to be accountable for when you're wrong, because we are not always right. We are not perfectionists. Like we said in the beginning, you cannot be a perfectionism. Like, it's just impossible. It's impossible.
Oh my goodness.
You got to grow to love who you are, inside and out. And when you start to grow and to love and endure the person you are inside and out, it's going to start showing. That killer is going to start being a blossoming butterfly. Yes, men, y'all can be butterflies too. Y'all are going to start blossoming, and people are going to start seeing the difference in yourself. But toxicity will drain you.
Yep, so it will.
Run. I don't know what else I can say about that, but if you see it, run. Be a toxic person, reevaluate your life, be accountable for the things that you have done in your life, and you'll be able to prosper from it. But that starts with healing. And if you missed our episode on healing, you need to go back and listen to healing, because that's very important. But, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, toxicity is something that we all have, like I said, and you said, and it needs to be worked on, because I feel like even with family members, and that their toxicity sometimes you can pick it up. You have your own toxic traits picking up their toxic traits, and you're like, then it just becomes too much, and then you just get to that point where
you got to be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah,
very important. Yeah.
Oh, and I also wanted to and like earlier when we were talking about taking out time to like rest, take out time to play. Incorporate regular play into your life. That is important too.
Yeah, hobbies are very important. You got to have that work-life balance. Definitely.
Yeah.
Let me see if we have any questions from our viewers. We do not.
No, I don't have questions my way either.
Well, thank you, viewers, for tuning in to Uncommon Women. I hope you guys enjoyed our topic today in regards to your reflection, in regards to us giving you some self-love tips. I hope you're able to take notes and write your notes down and go back to it when you're feeling down, or when you're having a busy or stressful day, or you just want to flip out on somebody, or whatever the case may be. Just take deep breaths, try to reevaluate, and just everything's going to be okay. Pep talk to yourself. It's okay to pep talk to yourself, like, you got this, girl, you got this, it ain't the end of the world. You just got a flat tire. It's okay that I am running late to work because I got a flat tire. I got a car though. I'm going to get there. Like, you gotta be so optimistic in the things that go wrong. Just bring out the positivity that can go right, and be thankful for those things. So I thank our viewers for listening to us today. Ashlyn, you're definitely in my prayers, with your family. I'm not sure what happened, but we'll try to get her in next season in regards to being a motivational speaker. We'll touch back on self-love. Viewers, please remember to stay uncommon, and Jenny Lee is going to give us our closing.
Okay, well, everyone, you can check us out on www.uncommonwomen.net. That's where our apparel is. We also have other platforms where you can check us out at. We are on Google Play, iTunes, YouTube, IG, and Twitter. Also for our other websites, www.uncommonwomenlipson.com. Like I said, those are our many platforms. You can also, if you have any businesses or anyone that has a business that wants us to advertise their business on our website, or if you know anyone or anyone or any business owner that wants to come on and speak as a guest speaker, we will definitely love to have you guys. And if you have any topics or any comments, and you can just also email us at uncommonwomenpodcast@gmail.com. And thank you so much, our viewers, and prayers for Ashlyn again. And thank you for tuning in.
All right, guys. And again, stay uncommon. All right, let me end the live.